Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2009, the album Dad AF. Rah, 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 ma, ma. Let's get right into this video. Today we are going to talk about James Charles. Let's talk about the sister tour. I have some things I'd like to say about this. I kind of referenced this in a video that I did about James the other day. I talked about the tour, I talked about the prices, but just kind of off the cuff, my initial response to that. I would say in the last 24 hours, I have really thought a lot about this. I have done some research into other tours. I have looked at his tour and what he is offering. And I kind of want to go into this and just give a completely unbiased, objective point of view. Like I say in all of my videos recently, I would love for you guys to have a conversation in the comment section below. Be kind, be compassionate to one another, okay? But I think for us to have an educated conversation about this, let me tell you why I think it's important that we do have this conversation about James Charles' tour. As we go forward, you know, James is one of the younger YouTubers of his mass amount of following that he has, right? And in fact, it was interesting because I went on Instagram and I was looking because I wanted to compare his tour a little bit to Lady Gaga's. Now, on Twitter, he has, I think it's something like 3.8 million followers on Twitter, whereas she has something like, I think it's like 75 million followers, okay? So we're talking about kind of like she's like 20 times more, she has 20 times more followers than he has. But on Instagram, the following is completely different. And then when you look at, you know, how much she pulls as far as music and around the world, internationally and things like that, that's for music, but this is a completely different industry, and I think it's fair in noting that. So it's not fair to just completely compare James Charles to Lady Gaga across the board, as well as all of the time and energy she's worked, all the shows she's done, all that kind of stuff. James has worked very, very hard too, okay? You know, but let's be, and I believe, honestly, I really, really do believe this, in comparison to a lot of the other beauty influencers out there, that James Charles is one of the hardest working YouTuber beauty influencers. Booty, I'm a booty guru. I'm not a beauty influencer. But I do believe he's one of the hardest working people out there, okay? Whether you like him or not, I believe that to be true. I think he is really, truly all about the hustle. He is all about the business, and I think he is a businessman at the bottom of it all, you know? And so, but I do think that plays into it. And the reason I think it's really, really important is, as we go forward on YouTube, especially YouTube, and we see influencers that are his age gaining this mass, you know, following, right? James is really setting the standard for what a tour will look like. In the past, I have covered Tana Mongeau's tours. Her tours were more like a 15-minute story time and all this kind of stuff. And I don't have, I tried to look it up, but I can't find how much her meet and greets were. I do not believe that they were $500, but I do believe that they were up towards like $250 for the top tier. So they were like half of that. Which, when you look at James Charles' numbers compared to Tana Mongeau's numbers at the time that she went on tour, you know, it would make sense that he is charging more for it. So I want to go in here and I want to talk about this, but and I want to, you know, talk about the exact tiers of which thing for VIP and all this kind of stuff, which they all go on sale tomorrow. From an objective point of view, but I want to hear what you guys had to say, because honestly, there is so much criticism out there right now. People are saying that, you know, James Charles is just money hungry. They're saying that he doesn't really care about his fans. They're saying that all he really cares about is just making more money, more money, more money, more money. I would say that it does appear like that a lot, you know? It's a lot of it is about the hustle, it seems like to me. And I don't hate him for that, right? I do think it's difficult for him to come out and say that it's about that, which, I mean, I would just love if he was a little bit more transparent about that, but it's hard for him to come out and say that, while as also acting like we're all a bunch of sisters, okay? Let's just be for real. That's where this whole sister thing comes in, you know, like, hey, sisters, and it's this, you know, like, family unit of people that love one another, all of his stands and all of that. So, I want to go in here and I want to highlight each of the tiers on his VIP section, because that's really what is being criticized. It's not the general admission tickets, it's the VIP. Now, I will say that one of the things that came up in I was reading a lot of Twitter threads last night, and I was just like, it was all over the place, right? And I'm going to read one in a second that I thought it was a very interesting point of view from somebody that I really respect in the community. But one of the things that people were criticizing was that it said on there that like everybody had to be a ticket holder. It didn't matter your age, even if you were an infant. And people were saying, but what about like young mothers that want to bring their kids to the show and all that kind of stuff? I mean, I'm just going to be for real, okay? Hire a babysitter, because if I'm paying upwards of $500 for a VIP ticket, I don't want to be standing next to nobody's infant. I'm just saying. And if you can't hire a babysitter, you know, then I think that's horrible that you have to buy a ticket in response to doing all that, you know? So I understand it, right? By the way, I won't be paying no $500 for no VIP tickets. I won't be paying $150. I won't be paying $100, okay? I would maybe, and this is in all honesty, and I've been to a lot of concerts, I've been to a lot of shows, I've met a lot of people backstage. I don't know that I've ever paid for a meet and greet in my entire life, but I think maybe if I'm just gonna pull some number, you know, out of thin air, I would maybe pay upwards of like maybe, okay, $30 or $50 to go see a James Charles hour and a half show, because it's 90 minutes to 100 minutes. And honestly, I probably wouldn't pay anything for a meet and greet. I just wouldn't. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a YouTuber but I'm 46, okay? I'm not 15 years old. So I understand that these girls and these guys, you know, just go crazy wanting to meet him, and I understand that, right? So, you know, you have to put all of that in perspective. I think that one of the reasons why people are having a huge issue with this is because of the fact that, you know, we all know that James' audience, the majority of his audience, okay, is much, much younger. So that being said, who's paying for these tickets? It's really the parents, you know? And I've actually asked quite a few of my friends that have kids, even older kids, you know, like if your son or daughter came to you and said, I want $500 for a meet and greet, they'd say, hell no, I'm not paying that. No, if you want to mow lawns or babysit to save the money to do that, go right ahead. Which then means, okay, that the people that are paying this $500 are financially elite, or there are people whose kids are just going to berate them like crazy to buy the ticket, or parents that just can't say no to their child. So, because $500, let's just be for real, okay, for a meet and greet for anybody is astronomical. I mean, it just really is. $500 is a car payment plus some for a lot of people, you know? $500 is a mortgage payment for a lot of people. So, I mean, we have to put this in perspective for what it really, really is. Okay, so it goes in here and it says, VIP ticket packages, regular tickets range in price from $52.50 to $99.50 plus taxes and fees. Check your local venue ticket link for exact prices. Oh, the one thing I do want to say about the kids thing is that depending on the venue is where it changes, and sometimes children under 2 don't have to have a ticket. So apparently that's a venue thing. I really do believe that a lot of this ticket pricing thing has nothing to do with James whatsoever. Do I think he signed off on it? Absolutely. But I do think it's working with the... Listen. Okay. I have had so many friends of mine that are upper end in ticket sales for the last 30 years, okay? I'm talking about Super Bowl tickets, I'm talking about major music events, on and on and on. There's a lot that goes into this. There's about booking the venue, there's about what you're giving away, all this kind of stuff. That all goes in to figuring out the price of how much each thing is gonna cost. It's not like James Charles is just sitting around, he goes, sisters are gonna pay $500. No, it's not about that, okay? It's about how much is my time worth, how much is the venue gonna cost, how much is travel gonna cost, how much is it gonna cost each person to go on tour with me. All of that is estimated into that, and then they come up with this amount of money. A lot of that has to do with the ticket people. It has absolutely nothing to do with James whatsoever. So whoever's putting this all together is the one that is coming up with these prices. But James is agreeing to that, okay? And that's very important. So, it goes underneath here, and I think $52.50 to $99.50 is really, really high for a general admission ticket. I mean, let's just be for real. And the thing is that, and I'm going to talk about somebody's tweet in a second, but he knows he can get this. He knows people are going to pay that. I mean, that low end, that's the price of a, and I looked at some of these places. I mean, he's playing like Rosemont Theater in Chicago. This is a huge venue, you guys. Huge, okay? I mean, this is like musicians come there and book it out. Like, and he's going to sell out. Tomorrow morning, James Charles is going to sell out on this tour. We already know that, right? So, I mean, I think those prices are kind of high. I mean, there's a lot of shows that I've gone to that I wouldn't pay for that. I'm just being for real. Of people that have been like really building a career for 40 years and stuff like that, you know? And, you know, I always joke about Stevie Nicks on here, but like, I bought like Stevie Nicks tickets a couple years ago, and I didn't end up going because she canceled at the last second, but I can't remember how much they were, but I'm telling you right now, they were not $100 a ticket. They just weren't. And I was in the pavilion, but I wasn't like up row. I mean, up row, I think you're going to pay $300, $400 for front row, first 10 rows. I think we know that, right? But this was a little bit in the back. It wasn't a horrible seat, but I think it was probably, I don't know, $90, something like that. So, in comparison, I mean, I could have gone in and picked out 30 people. I picked out Lady Gaga, and I picked out Britney Spears too, so we're going to talk about that. VIP, $99 plus 50, $99.50 plus taxes and fees. Now, what's interesting to me about this is if you have bought tickets online through Ticketmaster or anywhere else, okay, the service charge for some of these things can be astronomical. It can be another $50 to $150 all on its own. So, yes, the ticket is $99.50 for a VIP ticket, low-end tier, but it could be another $150 on top of that. Okay, the Good and Fresh VIP ticket to the Sisters Tour guarantees preferred seating to see James Charles live as he brings his vision to the center stage. With your premium VIP ticket, you will also receive an exclusive tour laminate hand-signed by James and early access to other exclusive James Charles merchandise. What's included? Preferred seating behind VIP Plus section, an exclusive autographed tour laminate, early access to merchandise vendors. So you don't really get anything. This isn't any kind of meet and greet or anything like that for the $99.50. It's just kind of like assuring that you'll get, okay, kind of good seats. VIP Plus, $250 plus taxes and fees. Take your Sisters Tour experience further and meet James. VIP Plus ticket holders will get a one-on-one chance to meet and take a photo with James Charles, a premium VIP goodie bag, which we have no idea what that could include. I mean, that could include enough that would be $250. It really could, you know. A VIP laminate hand-signed by James, and of course, some of the, he's like, signing those laminates as we speak, okay? A VIP laminate hand-signed by James, and of course, some of the best seats in the house. You will also be gaining early access to other exclusive James Charles merchandise. It doesn't say you get it for free. It just says that you get to go to the booth first. What's included? One-on-one photo with James, which is probably going to be like this quick. Premium VIP goodie bag, an exclusive autographed tour laminate, guaranteed front of the audience seats behind Sisters VIP, and early access to merchandise vendors. And then Sisters VIP, $500 plus taxes and fees. Literally the best way to experience the Sisters Tour. And it is this extremely limited Sisters VIP ticket with exclusive, and it doesn't say how many. I would like to know how many tickets at this tier that are being sold for each show. With exclusive access to a Sisters-only hangout with James, a one-on-one meeting and photo with James, an exclusive Sisters goodie bag, and a VIP laminate hand-signed by James. You will not want to miss it. You also receive the very best seats in the house to see James Charles live. What's included? Exclusive hangout with James Charles and the other sister VIPs, one-on-one photo with James Charles, exclusive Sisters VIP goodie bag, an exclusive autographed tour laminate, guaranteed front of the audience. And so basically for that price, you're paying for good seats and to probably hang out in a room where James Charles comes in and he goes, hey, how are you guys doing? It's really nice to meet you. Let me get a picture with each of you, okay? And he probably will be limiting that. And who knows? It could be 10 people. It could be 100 people. Who knows, right? But that will be the top end tier. And that's what people are saying is $500 is a lot of money. And I agree, okay? Personally, I think $500 is a lot. And if my child came home and said, I love James Charles. James Charles has been a good role model for me. James Charles is the American dream, because let's just be for real. James Charles, who just, and sometimes we have to remember where we came from. You know what I mean? Remember that, James. You know, that James was just this kid that was living in New York City, living in, New York, and, was doing some makeup looks on a senior picture, whatever, okay? However, that whole, you guys want to talk about that, and then, got on Ellen and all that kind of stuff. So he was just like everybody else. No matter how he got there, okay? No matter what people want to speculate about all of that stuff. The reality is he did. And so for a lot of teenagers out there, a lot of people that want to be makeup artists, a lot of people that want to be YouTubers, he is the American dream. So to some extent, you're not just selling a $500 ticket to meet James, you're selling the American dream. And I think that that's important, But if my kid came home and said, I want to meet James Charles because he really inspired, he really motivated me, I love James, that, blah, 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 whatever. I'd say, you know what, listen, okay, if I was making $5 million a year, I'm just going to be absolutely for real with you. I'd say, okay, sure. I'd probably pull a, what's-her-face, Lori Loughlin, and just buy her friends 10 of them, you know what I mean? And go have the time of your life if I had that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money. And because I don't have that kind of money, I'd look at my child and I'd say, you must be crazy if you think I can pay that. And no, I'm not paying $99.50 for it either, okay? You can get the back row seats. I'll pay $52. I think that's very, very generous of me, And we'll maybe make that your birthday present as well. So if you really want to go, this will be your birthday present. Or you can pay for half of it or something like that. But we already know that there are parents that literally the last 2 days of their life have been total hell. Mom, I have to go see James Charles. I mean, come on, okay? It just ain't that deep. He's going to go on 15,000 more tours, okay? So when you're 32... if you still want to meet James Charles, let me know, by the way, I'll be 80. But if you still want to meet James Charles, you can, okay? Because there's going to be more and more sister tours. This is just sister tour 1, okay? This is just, I was going to try to come up with something funny, but I can't. So anyway, that's all of that. Now let me tell you something I thought was really, really interesting, and I want to read this to you, okay? It was last night, Jen from Jen Loves Reviews, who I love and I respect her highly, she went on this kind of like, she called it a rant. I didn't really call it a rant. She said, I'm terrible at keeping my mouth shut. Regarding James' ticket prices, the thing is, people are going to pay, which is absolutely true. That's why I believe he's charging it. I don't see why people are laying a guilt trip on him. If you can't pay it or don't want to pay it, don't. He's going to sell out, period. He's his businessman, period. He's good at it. That's why he's doing so freaking well. What pisses me off is the, I can't do it for cheap or BS. I don't know the behind the scenes, but I sincerely doubt that. Just be honest about it. I agree. Yes, he has young fans that can't afford it, but I don't think that that's his responsibility. James has shown time and time again that he's all about the business, and honestly, I don't see that as a bad thing. What's bad is trying to cover up who you are and what you're trying to do. There's no shame in wanting success and money if that's your thing and that's your goal. We all know damn well those $500 tickets are going to sell out. Is it worth it? To those people, yes it is. And we can let them live their sister spending lives however they choose. End rant. I kind of lived for that, you know? And that comes down to a lot of like what I was talking about yesterday in my Trisha Paytas video about like where does it become the responsibility of the parent to monitor what they're watching on YouTube? This is the same thing, right? Like, we can sit here and talk about how there are going to be kids that are going to want to be buying these $500 tickets, but really, ultimately, the responsibility comes down to the parent or the grandparent or whoever's raising these kids to say, no, $500 is a lot of money. We're not going to spend that on this. Okay, I understand that means a lot to you, and if you really want to go on his next tour, which will probably be in 6 months, save your money, okay? And you can go then. A lot of people are saying that James is super, super arrogant about this. Listen, James is getting so much shit right now about being money hungry, about being arrogant and whatever. And, you know, I'm a little worried that James is starting, okay, he's at the top of his game right now, but that doesn't mean that he can't fall from grace like that. I mean, it would be really weird if James literally grew his entire channel, his industry, everything in 2 to 3 days and just fell down like that. Can you, or 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 years to only be, by the time he's 30, just really non-existent in the YouTube world. I mean, and a lot of people always comment and say as an influencer, he could still get a job anywhere. Can you imagine James Charles charging $500 for a meet and greet, ending up working at some marketing firm, helping them come up with marketing schemes because his YouTube career is absolutely obsolete? And I think that's where it's important, where you really think about the message that you're sending out to the world. Not just James, not just Jeffree Star, not just all these people, although I did hear Jeffree Star's meet and greets were much cheaper, which I think is interesting. I couldn't find any pricing on that, or I would have included it in the video, so if you know about that, please put it in the comment section below. But you know, I think like, it's about the message that you're sending out to your people, right? Is it about this? Now, I will tell you this. I went on, and I said the other day in my video that Lady Gaga's meet and greets were $2,000 because that's what I was quoted by a friend of mine that's going to see it. I actually looked it up, and so Lady Gaga's top tier, okay, of her meet and greet is $5,155. Meet and greet with Lady Gaga, general admission floor ticket. Now, I can tell you right now, okay, that's one thing that James got on her. If I paid $51.55 for 2 of us to go, which is like 11,000, I ain't got my glass so I can't do math. Oh my God. What is that, 10,200 or something like that? If I paid that much plus service fees to meet Lady Gaga, my ass better not be sitting up there in row ZZ, okay? I'm just telling you right now. I should be front row and center for all that. So you get that, round trip limousine service, who'd care? Pre-show hospitality featuring food and drinks, specially designed merchandise, and then a silver fan, reserved balcony ticket, and I mean, come on, especially these $365. I think $365 to see Lady Gaga is really not that high of a price, honestly. Gold deluxe, reserved upper orchestra ticket, pre-show hospitality, you don't get to meet her or anything like that. Diamond VIP, $11.30, general admission floor ticket, round trip limousine. I mean, these are expensive tickets. And then $48.05, meet and greet with Lady Gaga, general admission ticket, pre-show hospitality, specially designed merchandise. So between $4,800 and $5,200, you can actually meet Lady Gaga. Okay, now what I do know about this is that she has kept her meet and greet very, very limited. I think it's something like 10 to 20 people per show, if even that. And a major percentage of the proceeds from these tickets go directly to her Born This Way Foundation. I know that. So I was reading articles about it and whatever. Now, in having this conversation with my friend a few weeks ago about this astronomical price that people are paying to go meet Lady Gaga, right? My thing that was really sad to me is, who can really pay what I, at the time, thought was $2,000, but now is $5,000? Who really can afford that, okay? Whose kids can afford $5,000? And if you have to remember that the people that built Lady Gaga up are not the people that could afford $5,100, okay? The people that built Lady Gaga up to where she is today are the people that could maybe afford $15, okay? Maybe $50 because they love Lady Gaga so much. And I have seen Lady Gaga twice in concert and she is totally worth it. I looked into Britney Spears a couple years ago. Her meet and greet was $2,500. I met Britney Spears. I danced on stage with Britney Spears, okay? I wanna go, If I can find the picture, which I always say I'm gonna put a picture in here and I don't. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up right here of me dancing on stage with Britney Spears. Oh my God, it was so good. But we didn't pay anything, okay, because we had a connection. That's what's priceless. You gotta have the connections, okay? But anyway, you know, so she's putting a certain amount of the percentage to this. But when I was having this conversation with my friend, what I said to her was, I said, you know what would make a lot of sense is, and I'm gonna say the same thing about James Charles, okay? Reserve, let's say, 5 or 10 at this price, and donate 100% of that to your charity, or a charity of your choice, if James Charles wants to do that, or he wants to start a charity or whatever, okay? And then let's say at the 250 level, or 150, whatever, for those fans that really, really like James and can afford to pay a little bit more, but they can't afford to pay the $500, why don't we put a lottery system in there that like 30 of those people, and so then those will sell more, that 30 of those people, because he's gonna sell out anyway, and he already knows that, 30 of those people will randomly be picked in a lottery to meet James, face to face, get to talk to him for 2 or 3 minutes, and that would be that. Then it gives everybody a chance, no matter what your price range is, to meet him. And I think that would be really, really nice, you know? Not just that, let me show up, let me stop traffic, let me take a picture out in front of all of you, y'all paid $100 to come meet me, and now you're seeing me 2 miles across from a thing. Because here's the thing, okay? At some of these places that I looked up that he's playing at, there are places that you would see like a Madonna or a Lady Gaga and things like that. What is James gonna do that you are gonna only see on a screen from so far? A makeup look, maybe one song, apparently there are some games and things like that. I mean, it sounds like a very interactive tour, which that's great. But if you're literally not in, let's say, the first 200 seats, how is that gonna feel like a personal experience whatsoever? It's not. It's not gonna feel like a tour at all. It's gonna feel like, I mean, it's literally like going to a comedy show that's 90 minutes long of a really hard-working comedian, which would never charge $500 for a meet and greet, and having them stand on stage, and you're literally at the other end of the pavilion, and you can't even see really what they're doing, except for looking on a screen. It's basically just like, you just pay $250 to basically watch a YouTube video. So I don't understand all that. Anyway, let me know if you guys, I want to really know, okay? Number one, if you guys, I'm going to put a poll up right here. Would you guys pay these prices to go? Would you pay $500? Would you pay $250, $100, $50? I'll put some prices up there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd really like to have an honest conversation about this. Do you guys think that James is being greedy? Do you think that he's being arrogant with these prices? Do you think it's too much? Or do you think it's totally fair? Like I said, remember, because whatever James is doing now, he is setting the standard for the people that are coming up behind him. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.